Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. I am your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me as usual, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
And well, today we have quite a few things to talk about here as Asha Sharma has gone on record to say that Xbox Game Pass costs too much and the value proposition needs to be lowered for the gamers. So we'll discuss how they could do that. Rumors are once again flying that Call of Duty will be the thing that gets removed from the service. That might be one of the reasons why they could technically lower the price. But will they actually lower the price? We'll talk about that too. And then there's some other things concerning Xbox as well. They have finally updated achievements after all these years of people asking for that. Well, we'll get into that. You got the cost of Marathon. What is that whole thing? I've finally seen the Mario Galaxy movie, so I'll give my thoughts on it. We can kind of go into some spoilers, but we'll do that at the end this time, not at the beginning of the thing. We'll also be talking about Mark's been playing that Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. I've been playing demos here, Neverway's Prologue, Dead as Disco's demo, and then also some Dosa Divas that comes out or is out by the time you're listening to this. I have another game I can't talk about because that embargo is actually like in the morning when we're posting the show. So I'll talk about that next week. But then, yeah. And then we'll talk about Pragmata is already getting really good review scores and a lot more things right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Oh, that's weird. I've never had that happen before where it just starts skipping.
Yeah,
Great.
like glitched out like 2 seconds in, and then
Like, I don't know why it's sorry about that, folks. But at least the audio version will have the correct version of the thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the housekeeping really quick. If you are watching us live, which we do appreciate you, we do this usually on Mondays around the 9:30, 10-ish time. And you can watch us live if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, W2 Network. You like, follow, subscribe, ring that bell. You'll know when we go live, and then you can watch whenever you want, or you can just watch on demand later. We appreciate you either way. Thank you so much. And also if you subscribe to the channel, you get the other things that are part of the whole W2 Network, which is our other shows. So Taco Cafe, talking about all of the anime that comes out each week, and they do it seasonally. So they just wrapped up the winter stuff, so they'll be going into the spring in the next episode that they do. But they just did their awards and the top 10 anime of the season, so definitely go check them out. And then also you got the Relative Broadcasting folks to do all the entertainment stuff. They just did the Super Mario Galaxy movie review themselves last week, and they are doing the In the Blink of an Eye right now. So you can go check that out. They also do metal music and other like older movies, and they keep up with new TV shows and stuff like that too. So yeah, kind of running the whole gambit there. But all right.
Yep.
As far as we go, you can also listen to all these shows on podcasts as well if you're still those that like to listen on podcasts. And again, a reminder that I removed for Otaku Cafe and Video Games to Max, I removed all of the ad stuff that was part of the ad program that we had. So that should have lessened the amount of ads that you get. So hopefully it's a much better listening experience for you. I don't control the relative broadcasting stuff. So if you want to listen to the entertainment stuff, he chose to keep that on. So unfortunately, I'd recommend maybe going through YouTube, even though the the stuff with, if you don't have premium, the ads are not as bad, but they get pretty bad. With almost anything now. So, but I have premium for that reason, because I can't. Like, YouTube's the thing that I watch the most, and I can't with the ads get ridiculous. Like, I can deal with it with like Hulu and other stuff, because like I can get up but YouTube is so like, you don't know if it's going to be a thing you can't stop for 45 seconds, or it's going to be 3 15-second ads, and I got to sit there with a remote, and it's like, no, whatever.
Yep.
But okay. You went to a convention.
Yeah. I think it's the second biggest one in my state. It's called Astronomicon. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I went to the Saturday one because it had the most people that I wanted to see that day. So the big guests were Cheech and Chong.
Okay.
David Arquette, Danny Trejo, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes were there.
Oh, nice.
Who else? Soraya. I mean, Paige, obviously.
Yeah.
Mick Foley, Billy Zane, and 20 other celebrities, give or take.
Yeah.
It was good. I was there for, I don't know, probably like 4 hours. Well, on the convention floor for 4. I got there like super early, so I had to like sat around and wait for 2.5 hours for it to open. But
right.
Yeah, I saw the 4 I wanted to see were Jason Mewes. He signed my Dogma 4K steelbook. An actress named Lisa Zane. She's Billy Zane's older sister. She's been in a few things I like, so I just had her sign one of her like DVD projects. The comedian Bobcat Goldthwait. He's a guy who has kind of like a weird voice. I mean, it's kind of put upon, or it's an affected voice, but he doesn't normally sound like that. He directed a few movies I liked, so he signed both of them. And then Kevin Smith. I mean, I've been a fan of his for 25 years now, so felt like I finally owed it to the guy to meet him. And like I tried to meet him like a few years ago at one of these other ones, and he got snowed out basically. Like the weather, they did it in like February, so
yeah,
it was like bad weather conditions. He was like, I mean, he was the longest line, I think, or I didn't see Cheech and Chong's line, but they were also probably pretty long. But he was at least an hour and a half. And it's one of those things where you just pay for one autograph or you just pay for one thing. But he was like really personable. It was kind of surprising. I mean, I think most celebrities are more business-like, but like he was like up and he hugged everyone, and he saw what I brought. Like I brought like 4 DVD or Blu-rays with me. He signed the Dogma steelbook I had, and then I showed him what else I had, and he was like, "All right, I'll sign the rest of these too." Like he signed 2 of the other 3 I had, and I was like, "Well, I don't really pay for that, but thanks,"
Right.
What else? Oh yeah, the funny thing, at least that you'd probably be interested in, and they weren't like really rooms. Everyone was kind of spread out, but there was like one big room with celebrities in it. And the table was, or in this one little corner was Mick Foley, Jason Mewes was in the middle, and then Soraya. So I saw Jason Mewes first. He was cool. He was a really nice guy. And then a few hours later, I was kind of getting ready to leave. I got like Kevin Smith's autograph, and I saw Mick Foley in like the lobby, and he's noticeable. Believe me.
Right? Yeah,
like,
you know who he is.
He stands out. I don't mean a bad way, but.
Yeah, I mean, he has a standout look. Like he doesn't.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a like a human version of Shrek almost, or like.
I mean, I wouldn't have said that, but I was just saying.
No,
like,
I don't mean like. I mean, he's a big guy, although he is smaller nowadays. But he looks, troll-like, or like, long hair. But and he's like wearing like flannel and I think jeans or something. But he was in the lobby. He looked kind of lost. I was like, "Do you need help?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can't find my table." I think he like went to the bathroom or something. So I was like, "Oh, I know where it is." So I just walked him back to his table. He was like, "All right, thanks."
Right.
Like, I don't fault him, obviously. Like the layout was pretty confusing, and they did have a map, like a paper map, but it was like really off, or like really hard to follow. So yeah, he was cool. He was nice, or the two other wrestlers. Soraya is kind of small in person. I was kind of
Yeah,
surprised.
she is small. She's very short.
Yeah. But she's like really pretty, obviously, or yeah.
Right.
And the other two wrestlers that I didn't know them, but you could clock they were wrestlers. Let's say were let me see, there a guy named Killer Cross,
Yeah, I know that. Go
uh,
across. Yep.
Charlotte Bordeaux. I think that's his wife.
Yeah, that's who he's with on TV. Yep.
Yeah, I think they're married in real life also. But like he looked a little noticeable, but it was funny. She looked very different because like on the picture on the website she has like brown hair, but in real life she had like
Mm-hmm.
blonde hair. But she looked obviously like a step above everyone else in terms of like physicality. So it's like, yeah,
Right.
you're a wrestler of some kind, or you're some type of athlete. Uh, but yeah, cool event. I'm happy to go. My state's biggest one is next month. I'm hoping to go to that if I can afford it. They have like a few like Game of Thrones people there and some other celebrities I'd like to see. But we'll see.
Yeah.
As far as game stuff, I'll talk about tactics in a minute. But me and Jens have been continuing to play Nioh 3. And we hit a really funny boss fight. We played the last time we played. We've been making our way through it pretty decently. But now we're inviting like other people to join us. Basically, is like they're like way over leveled and can like take out a boss in like 3 hits or something. So this one guy joined us and he was decent. Like he wasn't like super overpowered, but he was better than either one of us for damn sure. But there was a boss we hit, and it was this big monster. But there was also a woman with him, and the woman was like shielded for most of it. But occasionally, and she was like be firing like spells at us. But occasionally
Right.
her shield would drop, and then you could like attack her and then stun her for a few minutes, and then focus on the boss again. So we did it. We died once, and the second time we faced her, we got about the boss about a third of the way down, like the big boss, and then the boss disappeared, but the woman stayed there. Like we didn't kill the boss, and then we were stuck because you couldn't exit the fight. He kept like the third person kept attacking the woman until like you kind of had to say like, "Hey, stop it," because the
Right.
only way we could get out of that arena was to die.
Uh,
And I was like, "Well, this is a
don't you
neat
love
bug."
that?
Yeah. Uh, so hopefully we can get back to that, and then hopefully beat him or beat her rather. Uh, as for tactics, I started playing it. You can tell it's an old game.
Yes, it's definitely the gameplay part of the old game hasn't changed, even if the graphics and some of the other like quality of
So
life
like,
stuff has.
there's some stuff I really dislike about that game. First is like when you attack something, like the default attack square is like your character square, and it's like, why the fuck would you do this? Like, why can't you just have it be like one square over, or like, or just have you select from like a menu, but it defaults to like your square, and then you accidentally press the button. It's like, well, you cannot attack this square, and I'm like, yeah, no shit, I'm in it.
Right.
Or like the whole like positioning system, like which way do you want to face to wait? It's like this is like really archaic.
Well, I mean,
Like
but that's when that game was made, so
I guess.
you know.
I mean, I'm still super early in. I'm only like an hour, maybe 2 hours in. That game, like, really, you got to be like, aggressive in that game. It's like really surprising.
Yeah, that's something I had to learn quickly. You cannot just sit back there and
Yeah,
wait because the AI will go after you.
like I'm thinking,
And they happen to know who your like weakest character is most of the time or whatever.
yeah,
Like
they always like
they know who
attack
to
like the
attack.
mage or the healer. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about bumping it down to easy and just saying I don't think like difficult like trophies are affected by difficulty, thankfully. So it's like, ah, fuck it, why not? But like one fight, uh, you're attacking like this like base, not a base, but like just this like everything I've seen is just like random shit, or just like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm in a forest and there's like a few walls, but nothing big. But this one level is like there are enemies in this like square building, or not even a building, but this like outside area with like walls in it, and there's 2 ways to get inside of it, and your party is split up into 2 different groups. So it's like, oh, you're trying to do like some weird pincer movement on these enemies.
Right.
The first time I tried it, I got my ass kicked hard. They just destroyed my party entirely.
Right.
So the second time, I was like, all right, I'm just going to cheese this a little. I made a black mage, and then at the choke point for one of the all the enemies for some reason grouped around, I just had the black mage keep casting fire spells, and since that's a area of effect spell, that was really effective.
Yeah, the black mages will just absolutely knock out characters really quick if you just as long as you don't have them accidentally have to hit one of your characters in order to do the damage.
That's why it's helpful to have it in a choke point, because I could. He was far enough in where he could attack like 2 or 3 units inside the choke point, but it still caused like massive group damage. So that was cool. I don't like the line of sight system in that game much. Like, if you chuck a rock, you might hit. Like, if your unit's in front of it, you might hit them, or it will hit them. Mm-hmm. I've yet to have. I mean, I made a white mage, and I've yet to have them actually be effective. Like, they're a very bad healer, and I unlocked. At least the one I unlocked the protect spell. That's the one that's like, oh, it helps with physical defense, but it's always missed. Even on like 3 people, it missed on all 3, and I was like, wow, that's impressive. But it's okay, and I'll try to keep at it a little, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's things like my favorite thing was just using the chemist.
Yeah,
and then getting
that's item 1.
Yeah, just shooting items at people instead of. But I still had the white mage order, but also another one is having the black mage also know how to heal, because that makes it to where you don't have to have a white mage.
Yeah, I haven't unlocked that black mage ability yet, but that would be really useful. I don't like. I mean, how far did you get in that game?
I got about halfway through.
Okay,
I think
I really dislike the very low unit count. At least in most battles, it's like you get 5 units. It's like that.
Yeah, that doesn't change for a while.
Yeah, because like I always pick Ramza. I made an archer. I always pick him. I always pick the black mage, and I always pick the chemist. So it's like, okay, I got one unit spot left, and I got 3 other units that need leveling up, but 2 are always kind of assed out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you may have to like go through and play some random battles and like grind.
No, I have been. Yeah.
Because that's the easiest way to kind of get to some of the other jobs that you need to get eventually, so that the team will be kind of like more well-rounded.
Right.
But yeah, it takes a bit to get to. It's definitely it is the one that inspired the ones that have come after. So obviously those ones that have come after have the quality of life stuff that game doesn't have.
I mean, the most like direct analog would be like Disgaea, obviously, but like that goes overboard in like a completely different way. Like Tactics is, I think Tactics is hard just because it's a little, like I said, archaic or just kind of old.
Yeah.
But like Disgaea goes bonkers and like create like I'll go in the item world and you have to like battle out the items to like level up and all this like weird goofy shit. Or like leveling up requires like the demon's voting or whatever that, it's like, what the hell is this? Like I want like a more approachable game, not a more convoluted one.
But the hardcores, they love it, man. They really do love it. So I understand.
Yep. So that's all I've been playing pretty much.
All right. Well, I have been playing. So I got the code like this morning for Dosa Divas, so I haven't played much of it. But it's the latest game from Outer Loop Games. They're the ones that made Thirsty Suitors. If you remember me talking about that last year. They also made the Falconeer, one where you use the Falcon and fly.
Yeah, the VR game.
Yeah. So it's early on, like it has a lot of the South Asian influence, very much like Thirsty Suitors.
Right.
Did as well. And this one is like two sisters that they're in a world where cooking is basically outlawed. And their other sister is the one that's kind of leading the charge to everything's about convenience. She has made she made a living on basically making TV dinner, like factor meals and stuff like that.
Frozen.
Yeah. So it's like, you don't need to cook. We have that all ready for you. And so the whole early part of the game that I'm in is you have these goons going after you because you have cooking. And you have this like big robot thing that the main character is mounted on, or that y'all are mounted on, and that robot helps you cook and you gather items and things like that. It's very basic on that level. It's not like Venva or whatever where you're actually like learning the recipes.
I mean, sounds like this could be a Ghibli movie.
But the combat is turn-based, Super Mario RPG style, with where you have to press the A button to block, and
you can do time
when the characters are coming at you, and then also to get extra attacks as well.
Right.
So like I said, so far I'm like really kind of early in the game, so I can't give too much on it, but hopefully next week I will have gotten much further and I can give some more thoughts. But I'm liking it so far. It's just some of those things sometimes when you ask for a code, it's a little bit late on the weekend. They don't see it till that next Monday, and the embargo is already up early, today. So I was just kind of like, all right, well. And you also do platforming with you walk around and platform with the robot,
right,
as well. So, yeah. So there's that. I've also played the as part of the III Initiative showcase, which we'll talk about later. Neverway, which is one of the games that I've been excited for, which is kind of like a farming sim. So it's like if Harvest Moon was set in a horror game,
right?
But also it's made by like a team of two, and one of them is the pixel art, and then you also have the pixel artist from Celeste did the artistry, and then you have Disaster Piece doing the music. So it has a pretty cool core team doing it, and they released the prologue. So it has like, I don't know if it's two or more. I've only gotten to the second part because it took forever for me to get the only time I've had an issue with playing a game on this laptop since I got it. And it's not the game's fault. It's apparently the game has an issue with DirectX 12.
That's cool.
And they had a workaround for it. And I kept putting it in so that it would load with DirectX 11 instead. And it would like load, go to the black screen like it's going to load, and then it would go back to nothing. Right.
Right.
And I'm just like, what the hell? I'm doing the thing it tells me to do. And then I had to go on their Discord and find that there was one that was like Vulkan something. And then
ATI Vulkan.
And then after I did that, it like woke up the stupid smart app, and I finally figured out what it was. The stupid Windows 11 smart app was blocking it because I don't know why it thought that it was a virus or something.
I mentioned that. I don't know if I mentioned last week, but with Star Trek Voyager, they updated it, and Windows 11 started blocking it.
Yeah.
So
I had to turn it off, and then it loaded, and I was like, oh my God, I could have been playing this game 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So that sucked. But
Yep.
from what I did play, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yep. I mean, the type of stuff that's like really annoying and stupid.
Yeah, right. I thought I had disabled all the AI crap in that when I first loaded it up the first time. Apparently not. But anyway, this game is it's very like, so it's starting you out in the introductory part. So I don't know how much of this is going to be the actual first part of the game. This seems like this is going to be the first part of the game, and then eventually when you get to the part where you end that first part of the prologue, you'll eventually get to your island where you start doing the farming and all that stuff. So like the beginning is just the setting of her. I don't even know what I think it's Fiona is her name, and she's going through depression. You open up this old computer and the emails are, hey, you haven't been showing up to work. Hey, we're giving you a notice that if you don't show up in like a couple of days, we're going to terminate you. And the next thing is, oh, you're terminated. Because apparently she's doing like remote work, but then they tell her she has to go back into the office. And then, so she doesn't go because of that.
Story of her life.
Right. And then another one is like, I guess her boyfriend or whatever is trying to get a hold of her to give her back her jacket. And he's trying to have a conversation with her, I guess, about why this is not working out. And she just ignores him. And it's like, no, I'm going to go back into my nothingness or whatever. Right. And then you wind up on a train that you have to go to. And this is where the horror stuff starts, which is cool. I'm not going to spoil that for people that, let you play the demo if you want. And then eventually you get to your island where I'm not going to explain how you get to that. It's a part of the story. And then you get some of this is what you're going to start doing. And then it cuts off and it lets you go to another part of the game where you're further along, I guess, so you can know what it's like to when your character has more stuff. Right. So, and I think that's a good idea, letting you know actually, oh, this is what it's like when you actually build out your island or your farm or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm assuming some crazy stuff's going to happen with the horror as well in that part that will kind of set the scene to make you get excited for that. It's now coming out in October 2026. It makes sense, horror themed. But I was getting worried for a little bit that it was like going to get delayed to next year, but I'm glad that we finally kind of have a release window now of October. So we'll see when in October eventually it hits, whenever they decide that. But yeah, enjoyed that as well. And then the last game that I played this week is Dead as Disco, which they've shown this off a few times. This was also part of the AAA showcase as well, but they had at the AAA showcase, they had an early access announcement for the game. And as part of that, they kind of showed off the like, oh, here's some of the stuff that's going to be like prevalent, which is they have like an arcade mode or whatever where you can just fight till you get tired of it. And they have 30 tracks with original songs, covers, and whatever. The whole point of this is like it's a beat 'em up that you also have to match the fighting to the beat, but they match it for you. So you basically get more points if you can actually match your punches to the beat that you do, but you don't have to worry about it like sounding off key or whatever. They already make the game do that. So it's kind of cool. It's almost like making your own music video, sort of, but you're hitting people instead of, singing or whatever.
Is Marky Mark in it?
No, that's not one of the songs. So like the main song that you play in the demo is Maniac from the Flashdance. And then you can also put in your own music in the game too, and it will automatically add the beats to it, or you can go in and edit whatever you want.
Right.
So that's cool too. You can do that. You can just edit whatever you want. And do it as cool as you want to make it. All right. So there's that. part of it, and the fighting is fun. Like I had a lot of fun. Just it's almost kind of like Batman Arkham too, because there's a lot of like you can decide to just press punch and whatever, and then dodge, or you can use the buttons to come up and have it do the like block and whatever for you. And he does these cool like combos. And then also he has the like special attacks that you can do too. And then they have bosses in the game that you will eventually be able to like get their big moves and skill trees and stuff like that. So it is going to be like early access. May 5th is when it's going to come out. They have, like I said, the demo is really short. You can play the demo. It's like a little short campaign thing that takes about like, I want to say like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you can go and play in the arcade mode all you want. And you can also add in your own music too. So you'll probably already see that people have uploaded their own version of the arcade mode with, or they call it infinite mode, with their own songs. If you go look up the game on YouTube or whatever. So yeah, and I'm sure that this game will get a lot of that. People will be just going through levels with their own songs, doing funny stuff.
What was the name of this again?
Dead as Disco.
Okay.
And the whole point is you are Charlie Disco, who is dead, and his other band members are the bosses that you're going to fight or whatever. And then you will uncover parts of what happened to him, why he died.
Right.
Or, you know.
There's like a ton of games recently where it's like you're a dead guy and you're either trying to reunite with your lost love or whatever. It's like this. Romeo's a dead man. That other one that
The Stupid Never Dies feels like it's kind of the same thing.
It's like, why are we aping all this? You know, like what happened?
I guess it's the trope of, you know, we're in the emo phase. We all got to be dead and
right.
Hey, what's up? So yeah, those are the games I was playing this week.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I can say I can say that I am reviewing Mouse PI for Hire. So, but I can't talk about it, but I'll talk about it next week.
It is a video game.
Yeah, it is definitely a video game, and there's a lot of that too. A lot of games now. I think they showed like 2 or 3 of them in the III showcase. Of like people are doing that rubber hose animation, that Cuphead animation, like is becoming a thing of, what was it, like Clank or something like that? It's like a survival. It's like a farming survival game with rubber hose animation. I was like, what the heck, man? We're even getting to this now. Like, yeah, this is getting interesting for sure.
Yep.
But all right, let's go into the news here. One of the interesting revelations for this week was Metro 2039. There's been rumors for a while that there's a new Metro game, but it's been kind of like, oh, okay, it's in the works, like, and then all of a sudden this week, a couple days ago, it was like, oh, it's going to get, Nate the Hate started saying, oh, it's going to get revealed on the 16th. There's an Xbox thing. It's going to get revealed that day. And then all of a sudden, what do you know? This morning, they revealed that, yes, it is called Metro 2039. It's based off the Metro 2034 book. And we'll get a first look at it on Thursday, which is also when Mouse PI for Hire comes out as well. And other indie games decided to also come out that day, so it's like an indie palooza on the 16th. But anyway, the whole point is that we'll get to see what they did. Leak some of the story as well. Do you really want to? I don't know how. Like, I know we both played the Metro.
I mean,
quite a few.
It's basically Fallout, but you're in Russia and you're in a bunch of subway stations.
Right. There's some of that, like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that post-apocalyptic stuff in there too. But yeah, like you said, it's based off of Russia.
Yeah.
So it feels like if you like the other Metro games, this is going to be right up there with those.
I like the second one. I didn't like the third one at all. I don't know. I think they changed some, like part of it, so it didn't click with me. But Yeah, those games have a fan base, and they made 4 games, so
Yeah.
has to be
And then
decently
they had the
large.
one that got canceled or
Right.
whatever in like 2020.
Yeah.
So that was another thing too, is like people were like, "Oh man, is the Metro series gonna be dead now?"
Right.
And
I
it's great to see that this is continuing.
I could swear they're trying to make a Metro 2033 TV show at some point.
It was a movie, I think.
Okay.
It's a movie. And then it got canceled, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken,
Yeah,
too.
it was a film. You were right, but then the author of the books is like fleeing from Russia, basically. So.
Yeah, at that exactly, that was going to make it very difficult to happen by then.
Right.
It's sad that war is still going on. Crazy. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a really cool look at it on
Yeah.
Thursday. I
It's like
saw a
Metro's
lot of
not
people
my favorite
excited
show,
about it. So
favorite
sorry, go ahead.
franchise, but it's solid.
Yeah. And 4A Games, really solid developer. They've been improving that series. I mean, I know you didn't like it, but they've been upping the production value with that game.
Right.
In the series, every game. The last one was very truly a AAA experience. Just like you said, it didn't seem like it hit for everybody. And then we'll see what this one turns out to be for sure. But let's continue on the Xbox train because there's a few things to talk about along with our main topic. There was a rumor coming around that Fable may be delayed internally. Jeff Grubb was the one that talked about it. So usually when Jeff Grubb brings it up, it's not that there's a shred of evidence. It's kind of like when Jason Schreier says something. It's like one of these two brings it up. That it's something factual. Now, like he says, just because it's delayed internally doesn't mean it's not coming out this year. But that's not great when internally you're already talking about a delay. It's kind of similar, like that's just the talk that was happening with GTA, and all of a sudden, randomly one day they went, "Oh yeah, it's delayed again till November 19th or whatever."
Yeah.
So he says they're still kind of aiming for it to come in December, but then when somebody brought it up on a Twitter post to the like official Twitter account or X account of Fable or Playground, somebody kind of reiterated again, we'll see you in autumn 2026, which means it could be October, it could be early November. You can't put it out in late November because that's when GTA is coming. So then you could maybe do like around Christmas time, give GTA a whole month to kind of, even though I'm sure it will still be in the zeitgeist until the end of the year or further, especially because there's rumors that the PC version is going to come quick in February 2027. So that's going to give it a second life once it hit PC.
Right.
Which I feel bad for anything trying to come out around then next year because you will get your time taken away from whenever that hits on PC as well. So maybe Final Fantasy VII Part 3 might have to push it a little bit further into 2027 or something. Or maybe not. Who knows? By then, people will kind of have been. Well, we'll talk about that because there's some leaks of GTA 5 online of how many people are still playing that game, which is ridiculous. But we'll get into that. But what do you think? Like, do you think it comes out before December? Do you think they wind up announcing that it's going to get delayed? Do you think it comes out in December?
I mean, didn't for that showcase thing didn't they say 2026?
They said autumn 20. That's the date they've given was autumn 2026. Okay. That was it.
I don't know, that project has been like nothing but trouble.
Right.
So I could completely buy it missing that date or going like winter 2027 or unfortunately.
I mean,
but
like the thing is that they do have a lot of games coming out. So it's not like they have to have the thing come out this year.
But it's a lot of games that like people aren't that excited for. It's like people aren't jumping around for Gears of War E-Day or for Halo, the second remaster.
Right.
And Forza Horizon 6 will do all right, but that's a driving game. So that is a subset of gaming fans. Like I've seen a lot of people on like at least my Facebook like go like being excited for Fable.
Oh
and
yeah,
like,
Fable is the most hyped game that Xbox has.
And it's like A, why? But then B, like don't expect a ton, you know, at least I would say. Like Fable.
Well, I mean, the Crimson Desert has shown you that those are the kinds of games people like.
Right.
Aside from survival games where you're building stuff and all that, whatever, the other genre that is still proven, you know, an Elden Ring pushes is you make something open world with a really cool world, and I can do whatever I want in it, and I can basically live in that world or whatever for a while. Those are the ones people are attracted to. You know, the non gamers, all that. So like I can understand from that perspective. They don't want to mess up on Fable, right? And maybe they just need to get Forza Horizon 6 out the door, and then they can just everybody starts. I'm not advocating for crunch. I'm saying you know what happens without you knowing it. People agree to have overtime and they don't call it crunch. Whatever you want to say, that's probably what's going to happen. They're going to put the entire rest of the team that was working on Playground, and they're going to push them into Fable and be like, okay, let's do what we can to see if we can get this out this year. But I wouldn't be surprised if they try to push it to next year to have the big game that comes out in the early part before the fiscal year ends too, you know, because next year they really don't have anything. They don't have anything huge, like, you know,
kind of fat drift in Halo, right? And Fable, sorry, with using Forza 6 brake and accelerate into the turn.
And they also have Clockwork Revolution coming out, but we really don't know when that's coming, because I thought that was going to be at the whatchamacallit, the developer direct thing, and it wasn't. So is that going to be one of the big games? You know, it was already a big game at last year's showcase. Are they going to kind of give it one big final push at this year's showcase? And then Gears of War is, of course, getting the end spot, so you know for sure that's coming out. It seems like Halo is set to come out earlier. They're not doing they're not married to the anniversary date. It seems like they are going to have it come out. Look, this is one person posting stuff on Twitter, so who knows, right? But supposedly people were like cracking the code of whatever he put out there, and they came out with, oh, maybe this game's going to come out in June or May even. And like, okay, they kind of need something though, because they really haven't had anything yet. You know, we're waiting for these big games to come out, and you still have Call of Duty, which is supposed to be Modern Warfare 4 apparently. But yeah, we'll talk about Call of Duty in a little bit. I think it winds. I really wouldn't be surprised if Fable gets delayed, but I also don't think it's the worst thing in the world if it comes out in December, because Microsoft does like having that December game. We've seen it.
The hibernating game.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's your Christmas game. There you go. You know,
right.
But all right, let's talk about Xbox Game Pass for a while.
Your favorite.
Okay. Let's talk about this for a second before we get into Game Pass. So Xbox finally, they put it on an Xbox Wire, posted everything. They have made updates to achievements. I have no idea why this couldn't happen during the Phil and Sarah era. I don't know if this was just being held off internally because they knew this was going to happen and they wanted to give Asha some easy wins or whatever this was. But apparently this is what's been changed. The first and foremost is the look and feel have been changed. There's updated icons. Finally, special animations for rare and classic achievements. They do have that little diamond or whatever that comes up when it's rare, which is cool,
Right.
but I don't know. Sony still has some beat with the trophies. The number one thing that everybody has asked is, why can't Xbox have its own platinum trophy thing? And it seems like they are finally doing that. They're going to be able to allow you to highlight the games that are 100% completed. So you can have that on your profile and show that off, which is cool. And you can also hide any game you want from your achievements, because there's people that, you start off a game, you only get like the first achievement or whatever, and that's it, and you don't ever plan on playing that game again. So yeah, it's interesting that, apparently a Bloodborne animated feature has been announced officially by Sony.
I doubt it.
No, like somebody's at CinemaCon, whatever, and Sony has announced it.
Which one?
CinemaCon.
No. What did Sony announce? What was
a Bloodborne animated feature film?
I believe that. It's animated. Who cares?
Yeah. No, but that's still. Hey, they're doing something with Bloodborne, right? Like, people have been asking for that forever. So, do something with Bloodborne. They want a new game. They want a remake, obviously, or a remaster or whatever. But
giving the fans what they want.
Hey, it's something. It's a step in the right direction, right? Like Xbox improving achievements, so that's good. Not great, but also I don't know what to make of this so much, because it almost feels like somebody that left the company and then getting mad. Kind of like Bobby Kotick, just somebody just talking shit, but I don't know. Pete Hines, obviously not been at Bethesda in almost 2.5 years now. He left in October 2023. And he's finally started talking about why he left, that was the thing. He kind of left abruptly and didn't really he just said, I'm retiring, and then didn't really give a why I'm leaving kind of thing.
Right.
And now he was talking to Kirk McCrean in their Firesides chat series, and he says his mental health was just absolutely deplorable, wasn't being helped by every time that Starfield got delayed. It kept delaying him being able to leave. Under Microsoft, Bethesda Game Studios is not authentic. It's not genuine. It shouldn't surprise you, he said.
Right.
But, he says that... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe it. Or
yeah.
Like...
I agree with that. And I think there was some folks... And I think the reaction to Starfield on PS5 also kind of goes there. There were some people, that basically straight up just told Bethesda, like, what are you doing? Like, you are not... It shows like you don't really care about your games that much, because it seems like they come out as like buggy messes. I mean, they've always had that problem with buggy issues. But like Starfield has had issues with like, the way the faces looked, to having to add all these features that later and later. The new DLC that came out, Todd Howard had to come and like tell people like, yo, this is not a like Starfield 2.0. It's just us adding things to the game.
Starfield team's especially fucked up at the moment, on at least like, it's not for every person, but you got enough people like posting videos of the game crashing every 5 minutes or something. It's like,
I mean, and it was crashing on Xbox and PC as well, so it's not like this wasn't doing it on the other platforms either. It's just it seems to be doing it more on PS5 because it's it's new there.
Yep.
And he says that he was staying there because he felt like the place still needed him. and he finally hit a point where it's like, I'm powerless to do what I think needs to be done to run this place properly, to protect these people, to maintain what we worked so hard to create, which is incredibly efficient, well-run video game developer and publisher. When I was unable to do that, I thought my job should involve in continuing to have that place be, you know, if not the most efficient publisher in the game industry, it was like way the F up there.
Right.
And now it was getting damaged, broken apart, and frankly mistreated, abused, and whatever word you want to use. I'm not going to sit here and watch this happen.
Sure. I mean, I don't think he was like, he started the company. He wasn't there at the beginning, but I think
he's been there. He was there for like 25 years. That's not
right. He was one of the more longer people there, at least. But,
right. But yeah, I mean, also, it's not like he was bulletproof either, right? I mean, the latter part of what Bethesda was doing before Microsoft acquired them wasn't great. I mean,
right. I mean, for me, it really seems like that. I wouldn't say the downfall, but like that company started making a turn around the Fallout 4 era, when you know, Skyrim was probably the peak, at least for a lot of people,
right?
And Fallout 4, it wasn't like bad, but you could tell that stuff was changing, especially with like the DLC and shit. And then all their subsequent games have been further on the decline, let's say.
Yeah, like Fallout 4 and Wolfenstein 2 were both really good. Wolfenstein 2 was great for some people.
Yeah.
It's just the difficulty was crazy.
Right.
Then you had where they started taking the live service turn, right? Where it's like, oh, Youngbloods has to have a multiplayer component. Nobody wanted that.
Right.
You know, and then you had to find a way to keep having it going. And it's like, no, the cool thing about these Wolfenstein games is that like they have an ending, and then maybe you add DLC or whatever, but it's like these are self-contained games that follow a series, not like, I got to keep playing this and do stuff.
Right.
And they started trying to make, you know, that's when they came up with Redfall. Deathloop was great, obviously.
Yeah. But that wasn't like, that was like they're publishing it. Like I'm talking like Bethesda made.
Yeah, Bethesda. But I mean, that they're involved in that too, right?
Right.
And then it's, you know, now Starfield that was fully Microsoft, right? And then that one was very mixed as well, right? There's people that absolutely love Starfield. That it was their game of the year. Greg Miller, of all people, that was his game of the year. I know another person that I watch his videos a lot. That was his game of the year too. You know, the Gaming in the Wild is his channel's Gaming in the Wild. He talks a lot about indies. That was his game of the year it came out. So like there was people, and then there were people that absolutely dog the game, right? So kind of very, very similar to like Fallout 4. There's people that absolutely love the crap out of Fallout 4, and then there's people that just absolutely couldn't stand it. So it is kind of like weird where it's like you don't have this, unanimous, we love your games. And then the one game that does extremely well for them is a remake that isn't, it's done by another studio, Virtuos, you know, and they're just kind of on the hook for it because it's a game that, you know, it's Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake or whatever. Well, they called it a remaster, but it was almost pretty much a remake at that point. So like that's the thing. And then like the other games that you're kind of doing are rumors of a Fallout 3 remaster, remake, Fallout New Vegas remake, remaster. You know, you got Elder Scrolls 6 in there. Who knows when that's going to come out? So yeah. And if is Machine Games doing Wolfenstein 3 at some point? But yeah, I mean, I think he's right in being upset about Bethesda, and it kind of shows. But again, like the last games that were coming when he was the champ, right? You had Rage in there too, which is terrible.
And Rage 2.
And Rage 2, like, you know, it's not like he has this track record of like, oh my god, everything I made was a hit. No,
right?
You know, so there's that to consider as well. But Microsoft has not. There's been, for every Indiana Jones, there's been way more bad news about Bethesda. It's
right.
Like, so,
but I still think they were a at the time they seemed like a pretty good pickup.
Right. Oh yeah,
least,
definitely.
But
for the IP you have, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But it feels like a lot of that has kind of been. I mean, the Fallout TV show is doing wonders for them right now, like keeping that as a major thing. Because imagine if they didn't have that.
Yeah.
Like where with the Bethesda would be in the whole kind of lineage of that right now. But
if we didn't have Fallout, they just showed them making Halo seasons.
Oh Lord. Definitely not. Oh God. I'm glad that Paramount killed that thing before it got even worse.
I didn't hate it. You know, I recognized that a lot of it was bad, but like the actual like Master Chief shit was all right.
The Master Chief shit was all right. Come on.
Yeah. Everything else.
You made the mistake of like having him be with his helmet off all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
because you need that in a TV show. You want to see the like they don't have the Mandalorian. He's been unmasked a few times. Hell,
right, but I
in
mean,
goddamn movie.
I don't know. Like people didn't like that much either. Like it's.
And also, that's why you cast like an actual actor. You don't cast just some bodybuilder guy. Like,
oh no, I agree. I'm not saying you don't need to have an actor. I'm just saying that he didn't have to have it off the entire time. Where it's like, what is even the point? The whole point is you kind of want to see how he is in the game. It's kind of like we talk about the Mass Effect thing. It's like, man, him doing these rewrites because he wants to make it for non-gamers,
right.
that can easily blow up in your face. So
yeah.
I just, I'm weary of that. And I don't know. It's just like, it sucks because they've done other Halo things that were kind of more in the, like B movie, straight to video vibe that
right.
I felt like did it better than a lot of what they did in that Paramount show. And it kind of sucks to see that.
Right.
So what can you do?
Right. Yeah.
It already happened. It just makes me sad. What can you do? But at least it looks like Asha is taking another step in trying to help improve improving Xbox Game Pass. At least she recognizes that Xbox Game Pass costs too much, according to The Verge, that had the scoop on this here, saying that in an internal memo to the team, Game Pass is essential to the gaming value on Xbox. It's also clear that the current model isn't the final one. Short term, Game Pass has become too expensive for players, so we need a better value equation. Long term, we will evolve Game Pass into a more flexible system, which will take time to test and learn around. There was also conversation before this that once again, this is not the first time this has come up. It's coming up ever since they thought about putting Call of Duty into Game Pass, which was, do we need to have Call of Duty in Game Pass to begin with? Does it need to be a day one game? Because there's pros and cons, right? It can bring people into Game Pass, but then those same people were not going to buy the game because you can pay a cheaper price and get it and play whatever you want out of it. And then that's it. You don't play it again. Like me, I will play the campaign and then I will just not bother with the rest of it. I didn't for Black Ops 7 because you had to be online and you couldn't pause it and all the other crap that was stupid about it. But still, my point, I love Black Ops 6 for that reason, but it is something that, like, when we talked about the whole, they lost 300 million off people playing it on Game Pass instead of buying the game. And I'm sure Black Ops 7 was even worse because people had already gotten used to it. It was already in Game Pass. So it's like, oh, well, now I know for sure I don't have to buy it this year. Right.
Right.
And, this month of April, they've added some cool stuff. Replaced is about to come out today. They added Hades 2. They've added a lot of things to premium. That's been, again, I talked about like how they've made premium a big thing. Vampire Crawl is also coming out like next week, and the Kiln, the Double Fine thing.
Yeah.
So, like they've made premium and actually a really good offer for like the $15. Almost all the big games are in there, and then that they're going to come to the service like within 3 to 6 months. So like having that $15 tier for premium is actually a really good thing. But the problem is like Ultimate is just too inflated.
All right.
And what, as a person that's outside looking in that has never had Game Pass, you don't really care about this stuff. Like to you, what's the like thing that you feel like you can take out that lowers the price?
I would have to say Call of Duty. But I think they'd have to wait until the next one, because Black Ops 6 was a little too soon, like because that kind of closed like almost immediately, right. And then Black Ops 7 sucked, so no one played it. So I'd say the next one would be like their last test case, like is this actually a good driving factor or not? But that's about it. And all like their weird like deal stuff. Like, does it actually move the needle at all? Like Ubisoft Classics or EA Play or Fortnite Crew? Like, does anyone actually use that stuff? Maybe Fortnite Crew, because people like Fortnite, but even that's decreasing, not being as good anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if the companies would consider like being okay with being add-ons. Like, I don't know if that kills the deals at all, or like if you don't have EA Play as a mandatory thing in Xbox Game Pass does, especially with the new ownership that's about to come in, does that make it to where they go, oh, this is not worth it to us, because people can just decide to not have it? And where's the benefit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as like Microsoft can keep giving them money, whether people are sub to it or not, I guess it doesn't really matter. But in the ideal world for me, the way that you save everybody money is let you pick what you want, right? If you want day one games, but you don't want any other crap, you should still be able to have that for $20.
That's like, I mean, I agree in principle, but that's like the cable mentality or cable TV. Like, I would happily pay for like 5 or 6 cable channels. You bundle with like 80 of them, and 75% of them suck.
But that's what streaming is supposed to do, right? That's what was so great about streaming. I don't have to pay for all these channels that I don't want. And then, of course, obviously, then it got worse.
That's the problem. Is you went from one service, which is Netflix, to now 30 different services, which is way more expensive than cable ever was if you want to subscribe to all of them.
Well, and then you add on the fact that the other things that are also a service,
right?
So that's not even streaming like that for entertainment. We're just talking about
like I was kind of lumping in like So it's like, forget it. I mean,
the thing is that aside from that, I think Call of Duty is the number one. Like, it probably should have never been in Game Pass. I think the moment that you put it in Game Pass, not only do you cheapen it, you also say that, like, okay, this is just like any other game that we have.
I mean, you cheapen it, but also, like, if it manages to hit, then you got a huge influx of people buying it.
But that's the thing. You got a lot of influx of people that got onto the service, but then they don't stay there because they're only interested in Call of Duty. Right?
Well, yeah, but who cares? Like, as long as they keep paying for it, as long as they,
But I don't think that they are. I think the thing is that they like maybe they're paying for it for a couple of months, and then they realize, oh, I could have just bought the game. It's the same.
Well, that's why I say, like, as long as it hits, because Black Ops 7 kind of bombed. So
Right.
I think Black Ops 6 did a lot better. I mean,
oh, definitely did a lot.
So, better. Like, whatever the next one is, Modern Warfare 9000 or Ghost 4 or whatever. As long as it like resonates with people, they should keep it. But it's also the problem of they just keep pumping them out. Like it's like Madden at this point, or a WWE game. Like it's just you're overstuffing the market with this crap.
I mean, the problem is that they can't. They literally can't because of the deals. They literally cannot not have the game come out.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. In an ideal world, Call of Duty should take a year off.
Yeah.
Right. But you can't.
I mean, and that was the whole goal, or that was the whole idea with like their three developer system, where like, oh, Treyarch makes a game 1 year, the next year is Infinity War, the next year is Sledgehammer, and then back to Treyarch. But that only like lasted for like one cycle, I think, and then there was like, all right, everyone hands on deck in this burning trash fire.
Yeah, I also do think that, like, I know people say that there's like maybe too many tiers at this point. I don't think the tiers is the problem. I think people understand what tiers are, right? Like, you can read a thing and go, okay, this one has no ads, this one has ads, this one has 4K, this one doesn't, whatever, right? I think what it is you need to give value to people for things that they own. If you're going to tell me that you have the console and the console is number one, then you need to be able to give people an opportunity to have the day one games if you're still going to have that, because that's another option, right? You could just remove day one games. And this then solves a lot of your cost problem, because then people got to get used to buying games again. Or saying that day one is it's not day one. It's like, oh, it's in 6 months or something. They'll come to Game Pass. Or
so Ultimate's like $30 a month, right?
Right. Yeah.
Let me ask you, as someone who was into that or was a part of that for a while, is there anything they could do to make you want to pay for it? Where it was like
lower the sub, right? Lower the cost, because
no, I meant like at the $30 price point. Because there's one thing they could do that, like, I'll try it for a month at least, but I want to hear like if there's anything they like for you that they could do.
You have to have like the bigger games, right? Okay. You have to have games that I'm actually going to save money on, but they're not going to do it, right? The AAAs have already said they're not. So it's like you either have to like be able to. The problem is they're spending more money where they can't. But I feel like the only thing you could get me to sign up for is if you promise. And I know they did. They technically promised like 75 games or whatever. But it's like, for me, it's like right now, what I keep seeing is, okay, you have the one big indie that you are hitting on every month, and then it's a bunch of old stuff, which is cool, but I'm not spending $30 to play that one indie, right?
See, for me, if they literally just said, if you are a part of Ultimate, I mean, this is academic for me, so I don't have an Xbox really, but if they said somehow, like, if you pay for Ultimate, you will unlock a program that is an emulator. They can put in any disc that you have, and it'll play just fine. Like any Xbox, original Xbox, 360, Xbox One disc, it'll all play. But this program's only active if you're a subscriber. Like, that'd kind of do it for me, at least for a month, just to see if it works.
I think that's an idea I've seen be thrown around for Project Helix.
Yeah.
That's how they'll do backwards compatibility.
More emulation. Yeah.
And be able to bring back that program where they were bringing in more games, right? To make that a part of Game Pass, of saying
backward compatibility.
Okay, you're paying for this, right? And then that gets into the same territory that Sony's in, right? Where it's like, I find the $17 tier a waste of money. But some people that really, really, really love those retro games, those $2 extra a month for them, that's amazing.
Sure.
But I feel like I find like the extra is the sweet spot. That's where if any of the Sony first party stuff comes in, it comes into that tier. And then that's where most of the big, older games come into, or the more recent games, whatever you want to call it. And then also you only have to have extra if they have that day one indie that they do every now and then, that also comes into that tier. So like extra is perfect for me. I also don't have that either. Because they don't do enough stuff for me to like use it. I don't play back catalog stuff. So for me, outside of the one time a month that they introduced, like last year when they did Sword of the Sea, I subscribed or whatever, and then I unsubbed again because there was nothing for me. But like, I feel like, again, they've done a great job making premium, the $15 tier, a really good proposition. You're getting almost all the games that come out, all that. Like, that's great. I just feel like you need to make it available to where, I don't know, if you're only on console and you're not going to get the benefit of PC, right? Which now PC is thrown into all the tiers. You don't have to have PC Game Pass or Ultimate. You also get that on Premium or even Essential. And you also get cloud on any of the tiers, right? But they also mess with how fast it is or how good it is, which that's fine, right? You should make that a perk of Ultimate, is you get the first version of cloud or whatnot. But like, and that's fine. You can use cloud on your console if you're using an Xbox One. You want to play some of the newer games that the Xbox One can't use, and that would obviously go forward for whatever Project Helix does with the Series X. And S as well. But it's just like, I feel like if you only have console, you should get some kind of discount to be able to do day one, just like you used to have before, because that tells people, I only own the console. The console is very important to me. I should get access to day one without having to have all this other crap that I don't want.
Right.
And that's my issue. It's like, I know this is a thing with streaming. In order to get the best version, you have to have a bunch of shit you don't want. But it's like, that is the way you're going to lower this price, outside of removing Call of Duty. Is either you remove day one games and remove Call of Duty, and that is obviously you can just lower the price with that, right? If it becomes PS Plus, but it's Xbox branded, and you still get the indies there and here and there, right? But you just don't get the Xbox day ones. And that's $20. I guess, all right, fine. I could sub to that. But obviously you're going to lose a lot of people because the whole reason they're subbed is day one. Right? So like, that's the kind of conundrum that Asha is in. But I would really love if you could just Fortnite Crew, EA Play, Ubisoft Classics, like, do y'all really have a tally of who uses that stuff? Like, I know people that use all of them, right? I know a guy that's how he plays the sports games. He waits until they come out on EA Play, and that's how he plays them through Game Pass, right? Like, I know somebody that loves Ubisoft games, and he loves that Ubisoft Classics thing, and he's now playing like all the old Assassin's Creeds or whatever. But again, like, that's a very small amount of people,
right?
Like, so for that small amount of people, you raise the price for that, something that barely anybody, I bet, is using. If you go back and look at the data that you have, right? Like, I don't know, Microsoft has money. Why not just look, we'll pay you to the end of your deal, but we're going to make it to where this is not something that is you have to have it, right? In order to have, like, it allows you to drop Ultimate down to 25 or 20, back to the way it was. You still get your day ones or whatever. I would even be fine if you're going to tell me, okay, we lowered it to 25, you still get your day ones, because I feel like 25 is an actually a decent price. Like, when you get up to, like, now 4K for Netflix costs $30. Like, when you get up to that range, it's where you start going, God, $30 to watch this one thing that I barely use, yeah, man, I'm about to go hit the cancel button right now. You know, like the only one I can justify it for me, because I'm a sports guy, is ESPN and the Hulu bundle and Disney bundle, right? I know people that watch Netflix religiously, and maybe you can justify Netflix until it gets to $40 a month. I don't know for you, but that $30, like when you get to $30 for a subscription, that is a lot. That is a lot. That's like that's a health insurance premium for a lot of people. That's that's some other subscription or some other monthly bill that you might have to pay. That is now becoming an issue for you, right? It's no longer a no-brainer. And that's the problem. When you remove Game Pass from being a no-brainer and everybody cancels like I did and other people did, they're going to stay canceled no matter what you add on there. Because the main thing for them is like, it's 30 now. So like you're adding Replace tomorrow, right? I've been waiting for Replace for years. I'm excited for Replace. But you know what? Replace costs the same as 1 month of Game Pass. So I might as well just buy Replaced. And then I'm not going to play any of the other crap that's on there. Even though I could. They have some cool stuff they've added this year, but like I don't want to.
Right.
That's the problem. Used to, it was like you're subsidizing the cost of this and I'm getting all this other stuff. Now it's like the one game that I want costs the same. So why am I going to bother with that? That's what I'm saying. Like right now, what they've done is it's worth it for you to be subscribed to premium if you like the back catalog. If not, either just be on Essential or don't be subscribed at all if you don't play on multiplayer. But and Scott also agrees with me of like making all these extra stuffs like a brand new tier of Ultimate Plus. Yeah, and also include WoW. I think you mentioned it like last week or
right.
Yeah, include WoW in there. Like it's yours. Right? At this point, I mean, yeah, I get it. You still want people paying the money. Right? You don't want all these people playing but how many people that are paying for WoW are going to all of a sudden turn around and sub to Game Pass, which is even more expensive?
None.
So like that's the thing. You're not going to really lose any of those WoW subscribers because most of them probably don't even have an Xbox. I mean, most of them, if they have an Xbox, they probably they for sure don't have a Series X. So it's like I don't think you lose much. Like what Scott's saying. If you have a PC and you've been intrigued by maybe what's going on with WoW and they're adding all these expansions, like include even if it's a perk of like a free 3 months or something. I don't know, to get people to play again or get more people to play. It might help, but I hope that they're seriously considering this. I think also the idea of having for sure having a cloud tier, that's happening. They're definitely going to do a cloud only tier at some point, especially if they ever get to the point where I don't know if they're going to add more TVs, because that was a Sarah Bond thing, like where they added it to LG TVs and Samsung TVs and all that. Are they going to add it to more TVs? I don't know. But obviously that makes it to where you need the console less and less, the more smart TVs you add it to. They definitely are going to have a cloud tier for sure. But I don't think that the like first party only tier is a bad tier either. Because there's people that really only they don't want any of the other stuff. They just want Xbox stuff. Right? So like if you do that, like let's say there's an Xbox only tier. I don't know if you're going to include the day one Xbox games in that too. But say there's a day one only tier for back catalog Xbox stuff, and maybe you get like I think Ryan McCaffrey has thrown around this idea a few times of like you give somebody like a ticket that allows you to essentially pick one Xbox game that's coming out that you can redeem as your day one game that you want for like a 6-month period or something like that. So like, let's say that you have, the games that are coming out this year, you really want Fable, right? It's not that you own the game. It's that essentially it becomes you get to have that while you are subscribed to Game Pass, at the tier that you're at. Right. And then if you unsub, then obviously that goes away as well. But I don't know. It is a decent idea.
You spent like a half hour on this. Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying. I thought I was like bringing up thoughts on, let's see what happens here. But look, obviously they made us decide that it may not happen. I assume that none of this is going to happen until the June showcase anyway. So stuff's going to stay the same for a while, probably.
Yeah.
Marathon apparently costs like $250 million.
Yeah.
To make. According to Paul Tassi. This is including all of the versions, right? So there's porting costs.
Hey, it's $150 million cheaper than Concord.
That's true. But it isn't saying a whole lot. Also, the Forbes article brings up that the majority of the game's player base, which we've talked about, 70% is on Steam. And 70% of the players are on PC. They have an average playtime of 28 hours, which isn't bad. 22% have more than 50 hours, and only 7% of players have more than 100 hours. Sure. The concurrent player count has gone down to about like 20,000 from the peak of like 88,000.
Right.
Which isn't great, but at least it's a loyal fan base, right? It's a fan base that's staying around. It's a fan base that likes the game.
Well, I don't think there's a ton of endgame content right now. Currently, like they had that raid thing. That's one thing, and it's like, well, you do it once, or you just run it a bunch of times, but there's only one thing. So, I mean, if they add in more content, that number might go up, or add in. I think they're supposed to add in like a 2-player mode at some point.
Right.
They can adjust it.
I mean, it feels like there's the people that love it are really enjoying it, and hopefully that means that they will continue the long support that they're promising.
I don't know if you listen to like Jeff Gerstmann's podcast. He's been all over this game for like the past 2 weeks, and it's like,
I've listened to a few podcasts that they are just spouting off about the game.
Meanwhile, I don't know about you, but like me personally, I don't know anyone playing that damn thing. So.
Not personally, I don't.
Right,
but
that's what I meant. Yeah,
of the people that I like watch and
follow,
listen to and stuff, yes, I see that all the time. People talking about how they played it. As Scott is saying that duos are better in beta or better on certain maps, and that for sure Marathon's got enough players to not shut itself down in a week like another title. Right. Yeah, for sure.
It'll take at least 40 days.
I don't know offhand how many players are playing Helldivers 2 right now. But look, if you're Sony, you're still going after this, right? You still have other games coming out in the multiplayer spectrum, so it behooves you to keep these things around. They need to have things that make money. We already saw that they're taking a loss on Bungie as a whole. So if this is doing something, keep it around. But $250 million is a lot. It's not I mean, I wonder how much of that money they've made back.
Helldivers has basically 35,000 people playing it on Steam at least in the past 24 hours. So it's all right.
All right. So still 15,000 more than Marathon.
Right.
But still, look, 20,000 ain't nothing.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying, but it's going to be interesting how long they keep it around.
The problem is it's a scale of economics. Like, like Minecraft didn't cost $250 million to make, but that game very much grew up like organically or like word of mouth, and it exploded. But I don't know how much it took to make, but it damn sure wasn't 250 million. It's probably
Scott
like,
is not wrong. He's saying the marathon will probably last longer than whatever the Horizon Hunters is going to be.
yeah, I can
Yeah,
100% believe that. Also, yeah,
it'd be funny if that NC Soft game lasts longer than the Gorilla one.
right.
Like, hey, we liked the this version better than the actual one from the company that makes the damn game.
Right.
But yeah, he's not wrong there. But you know, Horizon is weird in that every time you think that but it could fall the way of the Lego game where that Lego game came out and nobody cared. So, you know, we'll
I think
see.
Jens played it with one of his friends, but that was only because it was on, PS Plus or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Still crazy that game came out on Switch. It was still cool. Yeah, but moving on from Grand Theft Auto Online, which this is this game sells every month in the crazy numbers, so it shouldn't be that crazy, but it's still seeing the numbers there. It's still like ridiculous. So there was a hack that happened, which totally not cool. Not great, whatever. This sucks. They're apparently saying that they've hacked like the actual GTA 6, which I hope, please God, don't put that out. I don't want the story of GTA 6 getting leaked and like all the stuff getting leaked before the game comes out. Like, please don't do that. We don't need another Last of Us 2 situation. Like, it's
Right.
unnecessary, you know. But that being said, they did put some numbers about who's playing GTA Online on the GTA forums. And it's crazy. 3 million, not 1,000. If this number is correct, 3 million people are playing on PS5 by itself. And 1.8 million are playing on PS4.
Yeah.
And then Xbox Series X is 1.1. And then about 1 million are playing on Xbox One.
This isn't it's surprising to you, but why should it be? Like, that game is still.
No, I'm just saying. Like, this is why right now people are both Microsoft and Sony are sitting there going, why can't we get people to move off the old console? This game right here is why people are not moving off the old console. Like, what?
That and also like Fortnite and whatever else.
I'm just saying, like, those numbers are like, this is a game that's started on the PS3 and 360. I mean, like, sure. It's just crazy. But it shows the power of GTA Online. How bonkers is it going to be when GTA 6 comes out and you get GTA 6 Online? How many people are going to be playing on that all the time?
Well, you had to wonder, like, is it going to be like, it'll obviously be in Florida or whatever the fuck they're calling it, but like,
yeah, by city.
Is it gonna be like gameplay wise any different, or is it just like, hey, here's all your shit from the GTA 5 is just here is in this one also.
Yeah, like, are they going to shut off the GTA 5 like servers at some point to make everybody move to GTA 6, or are they gonna? I would assume that's going to happen organically because people are going to buy GTA 6 and they're going to play the crap out of that thing. But like, I wonder if Rockstar would be that dastardly into like trying to push people into it. But either way, look, it doesn't matter. You're making money.
So I doubt it because hell, Red Dead Redemption 2 still fucking around.
Yeah, but they're definitely not updating that.
Right.
As nowhere.
No, I think like GTA 5, like the updates will dramatically slow, or to be like, hey, here's one new mission for the year or something like that. But that's about it. Everything will be GTA 6 focused. Like, they'll have like one guy still doing GTA 5 crap. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. They'll start having like these like slower updates, and they'll probably start being like,
basically
"Hey, come over here, GTA 6."
Basically, like maintenance mode, or like
right.
yeah,
Kind of like how Destiny
right
is at this point. Especially with whether they're making Destiny 3 or not. But all right, that was some nice news, and we get into some not nice news because Amazon is pulling a Stadia. But not in a good way, because they're actually doing something worse than Stadia. Starting, well, actually now, Amazon Luna is no longer offering game stores, individual game purchases, or third-party subscriptions through their app. Now, the third-party subscriptions, all right, whatever. You can't have Ubisoft Plus or Jackbox games through Amazon Luna. Not that big a deal. And Scott kind of reemphasized what we're saying, that it'll stay up as long as it makes money. As soon as it starts returns diminishing, then they'll place more emphasis on the new GTA for the online stuff, for sure. But yeah, this kind of sucks if you are a big fan of Amazon Luna, because Amazon,
no one
guess
cares.
they had enough for a while. They had enough for a while there.
It was like that guy. I forget. I don't know if it was Luna or Stadia or where the fuck it was from, complaining about like that Steam is so entrenched in gamers' minds, or
Epic Games. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and he was like, "Oh, Epic and Amazon, they have dramatically more money than Valve ever will, but
Yeah,
people just love Steam." And I said, "Yeah, get it through your heads. No one cares about your bullshit."
well, it was also the Google guy, the Stadia guy, also hated it. The fact that like nobody would.
I think it was talking about the Stadia guy. Yeah,
yeah.
And it's like I was looking at like Epic still doesn't have like user reviews or like just basic shit, and it's like, yo, this like you could forgive that if that thing was like a year out or still like beta period or something, but it's been over a decade, I think, or at least 5 years.
Yeah, it's been
like
a while.
what is the problem?
Well, because they don't. That store just exists for people to get the free shit.
Yeah,
and they even stopped doing thankfully, because people got tired of that shit too, the exclusives.
Right.
But like it really hurt. Look, I understand Epic paid for the publishing, so whatever. But like that really hurt Alan Wake too.
Right.
Of like being stuck on that store for however long it was stuck on there. Yeah,
I mean, it's still stuck on there. Like you can't get it on Steam still, or you can never get it on Steam. So
right, and Scott brings up that it's gonna suck for Luna to go because of not having competition for GeForce Now, which is true. Yeah, and that's true. You do get it like free with Twitch Prime or just Amazon now too, but like, or Amazon Prime. But it's like the thing that kind of sucks is the thing that's the worst part of this is any game that you bought a la carte on Amazon Luna after June 10th, you will no longer be able to play it through there. So it's essentially gone unless you bought it through a third-party store like GOG or Ubisoft or EA or whatever. Then you can just play it on that thing. But if you bought it through Luna, the game's just gone. You're not getting your money back. You're not getting a code to use it on some other platform. Goodbye.
Hey, that's happened before.
I'm not saying that it hasn't. It happens with movies all the time. They revoke your digital download and you no longer have it. But I'm just saying, like, it sucks. Like, that's terrible. Amazon is not Amazon's not a broke company. Like, right. Damn, you couldn't refund the people money. Google freaking refunded money.
Yep.
Come on, man. Like, that's terrible. But people will this will get slid under the rug because they're Amazon. and whatever. But it continues Amazon's like downward spiral with gaming. With like killing studios or already taking out their games and telling you that there's going to be deadlines for games that are going to go offline. Yeah. And you won't be able to bring your own library anymore. So that's going to get removed on June 3rd. But I mean, like, that's not the biggest deal. Like, I really want to know how many people like use Luna as their like all encompassing cloud thing.
I can answer that. It's somewhere approaching 0.
There had to be some people, because that's the thing wouldn't have lasted that long.
I mean, I didn't say it was 0. I said something approaching 0. I'm sure there was like 4 or 5 people maybe using it, but
yeah, agreed. The only negative thing of the new Tomb Raider games is the publisher being Amazon Games, not to mention the TV show. Whatever knows whatever's going to happen with that. But
once Sophia Turner gets off the injured list.
Yeah, and also note that if you have any save data with any of those games through Luna or whatever, you might want to download that, because it's only going to be available for 90 days after June 10th.
Right.
So by like September, that'll be gone too. So Luna will essentially just be a streaming service where you're not going to, it'll essentially be another Game Pass where you will not own any of the games. You don't have the option to buy anything. At least Game Pass, you have the option, you get a discount. But I guess it's a way for Amazon to save money, right? You don't have to, maybe these deals that they make to have the games on Luna. Scott says he had Luna for like 2 years, never used it once. But
I have Luna. I mean, I have Prime, and I've never once used it.
I've used it once to play it on my Fire TV. It worked fine. The tech is good. It's just I didn't have a reason for it because
there's no use case for it.
Yeah,
like, and even if there is, even if it's like, oh, I'm in Denver, Colorado, or somewhere vacationing, I don't have my console with me, but I got to play the new Tomb Raider game. It's like, you can't wait 3 or 4 days to go back home, or I like games, and I'm not like obsessed with them, right? I don't need to have them like with me at all times. I can occasionally unplug.
Okay, but putting that point aside, it is okay to have convenience, but I do agree with you that like, there's other like GeForce Now is out there, like unless it's exclusive to, but that's the thing too, is like technically, as long as you have like an Amazon device, right? If like you bring a Fire Stick with you, you can technically have access to that. You don't have to have like the TV or whatever. So It's not like it's not something you could easily bring with you. Like, dude, I lost my consoles one time because I brought them all with me I used to always do it. I brought my consoles with me to go on the ski trip that we had every year. I brought all 3 of them, my Dreamcast, my 64, and my PlayStation 1. And somebody forgot. I thought there was a bag that looked very similar to the one that I have. I grabbed the wrong bag. And this was, in the time before AirTags and all that kind of stuff. And of course, nobody ever found it. Because somebody figured out what was in there and was like, yeah, let's take going. That's gone, right?
That's how I got my Dreamcast.
Yeah, and I was really sad. My dad was cool and he let us rent a 64 from Blockbuster, so we still played.
I remember doing that, yeah.
But it sucked because I lost all the stuff I had.
Right.
But that was my fault because I could have just taken one console. And I had to take all of them, so it was my fault for being too obsessed with that point. But anyway, yeah, this sucks for people that happen to use Luna, but really, this service, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we hear about Amazon just killing the service entirely.
Yeah.
And just going the way of Stadia of like, look, GeForce Now is such a better product. it's already integrated with your Steam stuff. You got Game Pass out there with the cloud. You got Sony out there with the cloud. Like, it's a lot of competition for a company that seemingly lost their love, any kind of love that they had with video games. Like, they are definitely on the outs with them. So
Right.
this is kind of like the last piece of the puzzle there. Yes, moving on here to, well, I'll talk about this when we talk about the Mario movie at the end. But we did get some movement on the Metal Gear Solid movie, Mark. The once movie that we thought was never going to go anywhere finally has directors. Directors Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein have signed a deal with Sony Pictures to develop films across all of the studio's labels. And as part of that agreement, Sony Columbia Pictures' Metal Gear Solid adaptation will be directed by them.
Yeah.
Sure. And they are produced by the duo of Avi and Ari Arad, who we know from
Marvel and all that crap.
Marvel and all, and the Castlevania and all that. But listen, yeah.
Here are 3 questions. A, do you think they still get Oscar Isaac to be in it?
Maybe now, right? Now that there's some seriousness behind it.
That's B, do you think it actually happens?
That's the other one. It's like,
so,
but no. I mean, Sony has shown that they have commitment, right? Like, those movies do come out that they produce. Like, freaking Until Dawn sucked, but it still came out.
And then C, whatever happened, and I asked this online a few weeks ago, whatever happened to that, what is it? Trying to look at the guy's name.
The guy that had the original idea for it?
No, whatever happened to that Split Fiction movie? So that got announced last year. Sydney Sweeney was supposed to star in producing it.
It feels like they're kind of just, it's there, right?
And John M. Cho was going to direct it. And A, she ain't getting any younger. Like the character's supposed to only be like 20, I think, or maybe even like 19 or something.
I mean, that doesn't really matter.
But then B, like, there's been no movement on that. And at the time, that was like a somewhat of a big deal. So, they can announce it. They can announce it's happening, but like the Voltron movie, like the Joust movie, like all those movies that Sega announced, like the Crazy Taxi movie and Space Channel 5,
slew of stuff,
and you know,
the Gears of War.
I'll believe it when I see it, which will be never.
I would give it a better shot than never, but yeah, I'm in that same boat of like, when somebody finally says here's a trailer for the Metal Gear Solid movie, that's when I will be on board of like, oh, okay.
No, you're wrong. When someone finally says here's a non-AI trailer of
okay, Metal Gear movie. Okay, I'm hoping that we're not going that route of AI trailers, so whatever. But
until they announce a cast, or hey, we finally started making it, or then just saying like, oh, these guys are working on it. It's like, yeah, they may be working on it, but is it going to be greenlit, or is it actually going to happen? Like,
yeah,
projects get optioned all the time. Nothing ever happens from them.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
Not wrong on that.
It sucks. I think Metal Gear could actually, I mean, if you condensed it down, it could be a good movie, but who knows?
I mean, but at least you know that there's other, if it does well, you definitely have the other games to take from to do 2 and 3 and whatever. So
that's a problem though. It's like, would you do Metal Gear Solid or would you just do Metal Gear? Like, Metal Gear is kind of approachable. Metal Gear Solid is a fucking mess. That's a long ass game. Like,
I mean, it says Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
So, I don't know if that means like it has to be Metal Gear Solid, or
I can't wait for the sequence where Snake has to keep crawling into the vent to see Meryl in her underwear.
like, yeah, I wonder if they're gonna keep some of that like goofy stuff, or they're just gonna make it all serious. And
Hell no, that'll be all serious, grim dark, or like they won't keep any of the flavor or personality of it.
I mean, you could do it like 007 a little bit, where you have some of that stuff, but it's not like over the top.
All right.
But we'll see. There's a long ways for that thing is going anywhere, I'm sure. But all right. Just to quickly go through some things from the AAA showcase, AAA initiative, which was like 50 minutes or so, 45 minutes ish of just straight showing you cool indie games, which is awesome.
All you care about.
I talked about some of them, like Dead as Disco was in here. Also, Neverway was in here. Is it an expansion to Risk of Rain 2 that they showed in here?
Sure.
Alabaster Dawn finally got an early access release date on May 7th. That's the next game from the Crosscode developers. That game looks awesome. We'll be excited to play that. Graveyard Keeper, which was free until today on Steam. There's a Graveyard Keeper 2 that's coming out. Brotato is getting new DLC, which that was kind of cool to see. The first person Souls-like set in, I think it's the French Revolution order, Valor Mortis, keeps looking good, and that got another trailer, and also got, I think, like a summer or release date. They had one of the games that got like a big showcase at the end was Shift at Midnight, where they had the developer kind of go through like a dev diary, sort of like how he made the game, his inspirations for it, and whatever. And it's sort of like a supermarket simulator, but you're having to spot when an alien comes in or like a doppelganger, and then you find out stuff about them, and then you can just shoot them if they're the doppelganger.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. So that was fun. That Castlevania Belmont's Curse got a big showcase at the end as well. So I know you're a big Castlevania fan.
Yep, it should be good.
Should be good. And then they had this really interesting game called Prove You're Human, which is the first one they showed, which is like, what happens if an AI gets too awesome and then you kind of have to stop them? And then like you kind of explore the story of like how the AI is also feeling in a way. And yeah, it looked pretty neat. So I'm kind of like interested in how that keeps going. Windrose is also like out now, which that was like the biggest game from Steam Next Fest a couple months ago. So I'm wondering how that's going to get received when everybody starts playing it tomorrow. And then also the one more thing was Don't Starve has a new game. It's called Don't Starve Elsewhere. Horror themed Don't Starve, basically. Which look cool.
Don't Starve is already kind of horror themed. It's like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, but it's like super horror themed now.
Right.
So yeah, it's a pretty good showcase, and I'm glad they're committed to like not having ads and keeping it like relatively well paced. So
sure.
Epic Games and Disney are developing a Arc Raiders type extraction shooter. That's one of the games as part of that partnership that we've talked about a few times. Internal reviewers have expressed concerns that the game mechanics are not very original. What do you expect? Disney just thinks that their characters doing in the game are gonna do it. Would you play this? Would you play Mickey and I don't know, like, are they gonna let like Mickey, Donald, and Goofy be in this? Or is this like Like, what are we?
I'll only play it if one of two things happens. Either A, Mickey has an Uzi, or else B, what you're trying to extract is Sora.
Dude, I'm signing up day one if Sora is involved in this at all. I'm telling you right now. So, that would be interesting. Would they bring Sora in this? Does Square Enix have to say something about it or not? Yeah, like this. What Disney characters are we talking about? Are we talking about like Captain America is going around with a gun? Like, are we talking about like somehow like Star Wars characters in here? Are we talking about just only Disney characters? Or
I really doubt it would be like Marvel or even Star Wars, because they already got that Marvel arena shooter or hero shooter. Like, they're gonna screw with that.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I actually think it'd just be funny if it was just like Disney characters, but they all look Steamboat Willie looking characters, or like that Mouse PI game or Cuphead.
Yeah,
like if it was just all that, it'd be hilarious to me.
That would be funny. Like, yeah, that's gonna be interesting too. The art style, like, are they gonna take this seriously, or is it gonna be like a fun extraction shooter?
Right.
Like, there's avenues they can take this. So we'll see. There's really not a lot info on like what the game like is aside
But
from
also,
that.
would you ever play it?
If it actually has the Disney characters or whatever in it, yeah, I would give it a whirl. Why not?
See, even I wouldn't. I'm just like, it's not for me. Or, like.
I mean,
although, if your melee weapon is a Keyblade, then gotta try it.
Well, yeah. If they're, like I said, if Sora or the Keyblade or whatever is involved in this at all, I'm playing it.
Right.
I just kind of want to see what it is. I'm not opposed to extraction shooter. It's just like my whole thing is like having time. But if you're gonna tell me, okay, let's take a weekend and maybe I can get Anaya to play with me or something, yeah, sure, why not? Just one last thing, since we're on like a Disney Marvel-ish thing. I normally wouldn't talk about this because neither one of us play Marvel Rivals, but they talked about like the main person behind this, the creative director, Guangyun Chen, says that they have goals for 2026 and beyond for the game. They want to get more PvE focused. And they want to have more tie-ins to the MCU. There is going to be a Path to Doomsday event that's going to feature 5 MCU-related updates inspired by the Infinity Saga, including new game modes and theme content. That sounds cool. They want to get to the point where this is a moving anime, they said.
Okay.
Does having PvE entice you at all to play this game?
No, because they'd probably do like two missions and they abandon it. Because look, it'd be like Overwatch 2. Like, PvE takes time and recording the lines of dialogue and writing and stuff like that. And it's like, well, it's just easier to make a new map for characters to face off against each other with. So
yeah, for me, I think it has to do with like the quality. If you're gonna say that you're gonna actually get Marvel people to write for this, and it's gonna be good, then sure. But I'm also weary, like you are, of like, yeah, you say that, and then it's like one thing, and then you realize how difficult this is to keep up with, and then you drop it.
I've already had the rug pulled out under me from 2 different Marvel live service games in my life. So
yeah,
why bother?
Right. No, but it'd be cool to see if they actually achieve this and are able to, because Marvel Rival's still doing well as far as like people playing it and everything. So why not take advantage to add more to it and perhaps add more people to playing it? So it is a good idea in theory, but will they keep doing it? That's another thing entirely.
Right.
And that's what I worry about is do you got the juice, people? Because, you know, a lot of people say things, and then when it comes down to actually, you know, doing the hard
Again,
part,
Overwatch 2.
yeah, they don't. So, but all right. I said this week was ridiculous for game releases, and it is. Not just indies. You have Pragmata.
Yep.
That is the big like AAA game. Another freaking Capcom absolute banger. Apparently, the game's getting 10s and 9s, and also an 8 from our a good friend Andrew over at the Outer Haven. So yeah, man, it looks like Pragmata's another game. We'll see which one of us ends up like reviewing it if Adam's not going to do it himself. If the Xbox code or the PS5 code comes in, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, right now this is what's coming out. For this week, Hades 2 comes out to PS5 and Xbox Series X. If you didn't get enough Hades 2 on Switch or PC, you can now do it on your big consoles. Gunboat God, which is like a bullet hell underwater with a cool looking art style. That's already out right now. You can go play it, and it's actually at a pretty good price, like $10. So definitely I would go check that out for sure. You've got Replaced that comes out basically today as you're sitting here listening to this. A lot of people have been waiting for it. It is on Game Pass, so you also have that. But it is Xbox and PC exclusive right now, so PS5 players got to wait a little bit there. You also got that friends. Look, I'm not saying this in a demeaning way. It's just this is the genre, what people are calling the genre right now. A friend slop game, the We Gotta Go that I talked about during that mix showcase, where basically you got to keep from farting with friends, and then if your thing leaves your body, you got to figure out to put it in another body and all this. It looks silly. It looks absolutely silly, but somehow this will get a ton of people playing. Windrose that I talked about also out now. Cleaning Up has gotten some indie darling love as well. That's out on PS5, Switch, and PC on the 15th. Space and Memories is a cool little RPG that's out on PC and mobile on the 15th as well. I completely forgot about this game because through the Cosmic Abyss, one of those Nacon games. Let's see how well that does. Comes out on the 16th, PS5, PC, and Series. Gecko Gods, which is the little like exploration platformer where you play as the gecko, and it's kind of a bit of the like Breath of the Wild vibes. Not open worldy, but you can go on a boat and go places. Out on Switch, PC, and PS5 on the 16th. Opus Prism Peak is like a sort of like anime photo game with a interesting story. That's out on Switch 2, Switch, and PC. Mouse PI for Hire is also out on the 16th. I mentioned already. That's out on everything, even the older consoles. So they definitely wanted that thing to make sure it got to be played by everybody. Shantytown's a neat little city builder that also comes out on the 16th. Yeah. Tamagotchi Life also comes out on the 16th. Nintendo's weird as hell me game with the weird ass voiceovers that I'm sure will get people talking. Because it's just a walking hilarious fun thing. Under Par Golf Architect with essentially like a golf a golf course sim where you make the golf courses and then you play golf on
Can't
them.
Wait.
That's out on everything. Pragmata is out on everything as well on the 17th. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So get your pick there. Let us know what you're playing of all this stuff. And we'll see if somebody's playing Progmata next week.
Yep.
When we do the show. But I'll definitely be talking about Replaced. Definitely be talking about Mouse PI for Hire, and then more of the games that I already talked about. So until then.
Nope. Mario.
Wait. Oh, Mario. That's right. That's right. I forgot about Mario. Okay. So
this podcast isn't long enough.
yeah, this podcast kind of went over a little bit. So Mario Galaxy went and saw it on Tuesday with my daughter. She liked it a lot. I think she liked it more than the first movie. But this is a very much even more kids movie, I feel like, than the first one. Because this is really just action happening.
Right.
There's barely any story to this aside from the moments of like Bowser Jr. and Bowser. Because yes. I love Fox. I thought he was like maybe the best part of the movie.
Yeah. Which is a bummer because it's a Mario movie. Like,
yeah, you weren't kidding about like Mario is essentially a secondary character. There is a little bit of a nice, sweet story with Rosalina and Princess Peach, but they don't go far enough into it. I felt like they could have done more with that.
Well, it's like wholly introduced in this movie, like it's not in any of the games. But then B, like, aside from the very end, they have like no interaction with one another. Like they didn't even say, like, I don't even say hi to each other, or, like talk. It's just like the big handhold moment.
Yeah, it's like that's when you discover that, like, oh, the reason why Rosalina is always telling a story about Peach,
right,
is because
she's a secret stalker.
Yeah, right. So it's like it's interesting. Like they have some funny moments. Like Yoshi has some little fun moments where he eats I forgot his name.
Right.
The
Kamek.
musician guy, Kamek, yeah. Donkey Kong is not in this thing at all. Except for like one time. So I guess they wanted to save him for his own movie or whatever.
Right. I mean, I didn't even clock that, but like they introduced Wart, the Luis Guzman. I don't think they like name him. And it's like, why? Hey, I love Luis Guzman. Don't get me wrong. But why have him voice this character? That's essentially like a cameo. Like,
right.
I would have rather just had like the other Bowser kids or something.
I was surprised that they only had Bowser Jr. in here too.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to get into spoilers per se. I don't think we need to.
I did think of it though earlier today. I found like, because there's a rumor that they're making a new Star Fox game for like this year.
Yeah.
I realized what they should do for that game. And the way they should do Star Fox is basically mix Armored Core with Ace Combat.
That would be awesome.
Like because Star Fox is supposed to be a mercenary.
Right.
Have him actually do mercenary jobs and have him get money, have him like buy upgrades to the R-Wing or the Great Fox, have him be able to like customize his R-Wing with like different weapons or paint jobs or other shit.
Please keep him in the R-Wing the majority of the time in the game.
Right. I mean, maybe have him like walk around the Great Fox, but like as like an adventure, as like plot or just character stuff, but not no on the foot, so like things like that. But that's what I mean by like Ace Combat gameplay, just all in the air or all in the sky, really.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if like, but it just depends on what they're doing with this, right? Like, are they just trying to do another short game with Star Fox, and it's kind of meant to be like a let's see where this goes, or are they really going to give it the this is an attraction kind of game? Like, are they really going to try to make it big where, there is a lot of these missions and then you can come back to your base and customize the R-Wing, like you're saying, and customize the base that, people love doing and all that stuff.
Or let you even hire or fire teammates or customize airships or like have them like level up, so like Slippy's not terrible, or just
Yeah.
something. But like every Star Fox game that's like a typical Star Fox game is exactly the same goddamn game. It's the same 30-year-old framework.
Right.
And like Mario has evolved, even Kirby has evolved.
Well,
like,
their evolution of Star Fox was like putting him on foot.
Right. But that's terrible.
Yeah, it didn't work.
That was also like not a Star Fox game. That was originally just a cat game, or just whatever stupid pink dinosaur lady was in it. So
yeah.
But yeah, like lean into like Star Fox being this like cool mercenary.
That would be awesome if they could go that route.
And maybe have Glenn Powell voice him, because I thought he actually did a pretty decent job.
Yeah, he did actually. I like that too.
I thought he was better as him than like Chris Pratt as Mario, especially in this movie.
Like, it's fine.
I thought Chris Pratt was better than Mario in the first one.
Well, but that's because he did more in the first one.
Right.
He's hardly number one, hardly talking, and then hardly number two, like he's not involved very much.
That's what I said. Like the movie, he's like barely in it, or like he doesn't really matter at all. Like he's important to like the battles, I guess, but like as like a primary like driving plot, it was almost like more like Luigi's doing more shit.
Yeah. Like after seeing it, I could definitely understand why the movie critics hated it.
Right.
Because it's barely a movie.
Yeah.
I can understand why the kids loved it, because it's just action all the time. There's stuff happening. Right. You don't have to really know Mario lore or whatever to get it. Now you do miss stuff, right? Because when they go to all these worlds and whatever, right. Like, it's definitely got references everywhere and all that stuff, which is great. But I would have really loved like just more of if you're going to bring stuff that's not that you're making up for the movie, like give me more of that.
Yeah.
Like I could have gone without some of the action stuff to get more of the like story stuff to make you feel like the movie's a little bit more grounded or whatever. But it is what it is.
Yep.
At least the 1 hour and 38 minutes like flies by. It doesn't feel like you're there forever.
Right.
So that's nice. I guess we know that there's a third movie happening because they look. Yeah, most people, I don't think it's a spoiler because everybody in my theater left. Me and my daughter and I think like two other people were the only ones that stayed to see Daisy there at the end. So
right,
like I don't think it's really a spoiler. I think most people probably look that shit up and go, "Oh, okay, cool, whatever, Daisy."
Sorry.
So
although like the one other thing is this movie is like not doing too well. Like it's number one, but if you compare it to the first movie, like yeesh.
Yeah, it's not blowing it out of the water, but it's still probably gonna hit $1 billion.
I doubt that.
It's at like 6. Isn't it like almost at 637 right now?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna have that. It's probably gonna have one of those really bad second week drops. Not like the first one would like.
No, they already. I mean, this was a second week drop, so
yeah, like it's not gonna have the staying power the first one did because the first one just had this novelty of,
Well, novelty and then quality. So
yeah, quality.
Or
I think also people just don't rewatch things that much anymore. Right. Like I feel like the more and more we have gotten further away from the pandemic, more and more less people go and rewatch a movie. It's already enough to go one time. To go the second time, man, you gotta have money. It's like unless you're going by yourself.
That's why the matinee is good.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, you don't take your family of 4 to watch the movie again because it already costs, like, if you're going on a regular day and not a day where it's like discounted, right. It already costs like almost $100 to take them and have concessions and all that other stuff. So
like, I think the movie will hit $1 billion, but not in the theater. like with home movie sales and shit like that, or rentals.
Well,
and,
but that doesn't count.
Right.
Like the 1 billion is at the box office. So it's like, yeah. But I mean, I think this is still going to be considered a success for Nintendo, regardless.
Sure.
It's just, that drop off does have to do. Hopefully, they see that, and it's like they corrected the problem with the music. Hopefully, they now correct the problem with like, oh, people didn't like the fact that this kind of wasn't a movie,
And
so,
I would much rather them fix the story issue than having pop music in the movie or not.
I do. Like, I liked having a lot of the like Nintendo stuff and not necessarily like, look, the Biggie song that's in there.
Yeah,
it was cool.
I didn't even notice that. I mean, but it's so like not important to the plot. That's why I just tuned it
right.
out.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I rewatched, like I told you, I rewatched the first movie again. Like,
right.
A couple of days before I was going to watch that, and it's like, oh my god, I forgot how much licensed music is in this.
That's why Jens hated the first movie, or one of the reasons.
Yeah. It's like, dude, there's so much amazing Mario music. Like, just play that. Like, I hope they don't do that with. I mean, thank God Zelda's live action, because they won't do that. Right. But like,
they'll have some Charlie XCX song in Zelda or something like that, Jesus, or Rihanna song.
Mm-hmm. But all right, this episode's gone very long. And also it's my daughter's birthday now, so happy birthday to Anaya. 15 years old. It's crazy. We've been doing this. This podcast has existed for almost the entirety of her life. So we'll see y'all later.
3 more years and you're out the door.
Yeah. Peace.
Yep, later.